Well, folks, Halloween's over for another year, and this year didn't really feel like Halloween for me. Really, it was an odd thing because I didn't watch as many movies as I set out to watch. The only one I did watch was a movie called Hubie Halloween or Hubie's Halloween. Adam Sandler plays Hubie, and it was out last year. And my wife Laura loves to remember things that happened years ago. But we and her both watched this last year. She's no recollection of it, and I know this time next year she'll probably watch it again because she's no recollection of it. She watched a Christmas movie last night. She watched the whole thing, and she looks at me and says, "Did we watch this before?" I says, "Yes, we watched it last year." I don't know why she's watching Christmas movies. It's too early for Christmas movies. But anyway, I'm teasing as well somebody else, but I'll come to that. So that's all we did for Halloween was watch Hubie's Halloween, Adam Sandler on Netflix. It came out last year, 2020. So that's all we watched. I did watch some creepy thing. I watched it on Tuesday, in fact, called Hellhole, about these monks, and this guy comes from the militia to infiltrate the place because there's something not right. I'm not going to give it away, but it's it's very dark, and the ending made me think, should I have watched this? So anyway, so Christmas movies, yeah, it's far too early for Christmas movies, but Laura was sitting watching one last night on Netflix, and it's those kind of Christmas movies that I hate. My Laura doesn't like romance in the way I like romance. My way of romance would be putting a flower on the kitchen table, or lighting a candle in dinner, or writing a wee love letter, or stupid things. But Laura doesn't like that sort of romance. But yet, put on a movie where boy meets girl, boy and girl falls in love with girl, then something happens, they fall out. Then she moves to Chicago, he moves to New York. Next thing, they realize what they've missed, and they meet in the middle, and they fall in love again, and they kiss under some bush or in the hotel lobby. Give her that. There, she is putty. She loves that sort of stuff. I hated it. I hate it. And there's this thing on Netflix. Christmas with a View, I think it was. And it's one of those kind of movies that would be on Channel 5 here in the UK. Channel 5 do the most weekday movies in Channel 5. It's usually crime. It's usually who's the murderer, who's the kidnapper, all that old nonsense. But the Christmas movies that was on TV is about boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, girl falls in love with boy, girl cheats on boy, breaks his heart, boy moves away, girl moves to New York, blah blah blah, bang bang bang. They're back together again for Christmas. They're having Christmas dinner. It's all romantic, lovely, bang, the end. And I don't like that. That's not Christmas movies for me. A Christmas movie for me would be the Santa Claus, or Fred Claus, or Deck the Halls, or Home Alone, or something like that that you can actually think this is Christmas. That nonsense, no. So it's far too early for her to watch them things. I've told her if she wants to watch them, watch whenever I'm not here. Not that I'm controlling, because I'm not. She can watch whatever she likes. But if she's going to insist on watching Christmas movies in the month of November, she watches them alone. So yeah. So what we've been doing this week. I'm also sitting here today. It's silly what I'm thinking. I'm concentrating. I'm thinking of New Year's resolutions. Why? Why am I sitting thinking of New Year's resolutions in the first week of November? I do not know. I'm just sitting here, right? I'll maybe do that for a change, or I'll give that up, or I'll maybe learn to swim. Or yes, by the way, folks, disclaimer: I don't know how to swim. I can swim a wee bit, but I need to learn how to swim properly. So learn how to swim, maybe go and do the, I don't know, stupid things that I'm thinking about. And I'm thinking, it's not even December yet, and I'm thinking about New Year's resolutions. Christmas hasn't come and went, and I'm thinking of New Year's resolutions. But that's the problem with this, the mentality of this world. Retail, you just have to look at retail. Uh, September, the shops have all been full of Christmas stuff. July, we have a big department store in Ballymena called The Range. From July, the Halloween stock came out. Then in September, the Christmas stock came out. Why? Oh, I don't know. So this is just, I'm just fast forwarding, flying on for a long way and just silly. But yeah, just rambling on. But just actually speaking on that, funny enough, I was chatting to Big Rab on Monday evening there, Halloween night, and I'm planning the Christmas episode of the podcast. Yes, you heard that right. It's, as I keep saying, it's the first week in November, and I'm already planning the Halloween, or not the Halloween. I'm already planning the Christmas special of the Joe Watson Show podcast, and I believe if it can pull it off the way I'm thinking, what an episode it's going to be. I'm not going to tell you anything about it because that would just boil it. You'll hear more in the coming weeks, but it's going to be if it pulls off the way I'm thinking in my head and planning it on paper, it's going to be a cracker. Last year, Rob and Johnny joined. I think the year before I had the guys from across the pond. This year it's going to be different again. So, and it reminds me, I've done season 2. I've already entered this. I said at the start, welcome to season 2, but it's not really season 2. It was just sort of it's just sort of me, because I'm starting again. It's kind of a, but I need to get our friends from across the pond back onto the podcast since it was last on. So Brian, Chuck, and Dave, if you're about, I'll have to get a date to get you on and have a bit of banter and fun with you. But yeah, the Christmas episode is going to be a cracker. See what I did there? So I'm sitting here waiting for my friend. You know who I'm talking about. You know. He's a delivery man, and Neil delivers everybody's. I think Neil's kind of like Santa Claus without the white hair. Speaking of Christmas, so yes, I'm on this Saturday back on Fuse again this Saturday from 3 to 5. They've now put me back to my old time slot of 3 to 5, and I'm happy enough with that. Sunday we have a big day on Sunday. This Sunday coming, Sunday the 6th of November. It is my radio club. My amateur radio club, nothing to do with Fuse. It's a different kind of radio. Amateur radio club is having their radio rally, and I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to a radio rally before, so this will be something to look forward to, something that will be different for me to look at and see how it goes. And I may be able to buy stuff. I don't know if I'm buying stuff or not, but it's all good. And hoping to record some stuff on my phone. May end up on my YouTube channel. You never know. But that is what's happening on Sunday. So yeah, being asked by the radio station not to play any Christmas music until after Memorial Sunday, Remembrance Sunday. That's what it is. So I'll not be playing any Christmas music day after that. Although the previous year it was like, we're not going to play Christmas music till December. But now that we've been asked not to play Christmas music till after Remember on Sunday, that means ding 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 ding, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yeah, we'll not go there. Christmas, I keep saying, things are flying and the time is flying on, but people always, these things, there's a massive build up to them and then it's kind of a big flop. Like, I love the build up to Christmas. Listen, I'm going to get something very deep here now. I like the build up to Christmas. I love the build up to Christmas. But you see, whenever it comes to Christmas Day, I kind of lose it there because, well, on the 14th of December 2011, my grandfather passed away. And Christmas just hasn't been the same since. It was just 10 days before Christmas Eve. It was 10 days until Christmas Eve, 11 days to Christmas Day. My grandfather left this world. And you'll have known in the past, I talked about how my grandfather had a major part in my life. So you can understand Christmas has never been the same. And we have this thing in the house, although we put up the Christmas decorations on the first year, probably the 1st or 2nd of November. But if the Christmas decorations aren't up, they don't go up to after the 14th. If they are up, the Christmas lights and all aren't switched on the day of the 14th. Basically, just, and it's not as if I don't miss them that on that one day. I miss them every day, and there's times maybe every day or every other day or even every week. There's days where I just sit down and think, gosh, I can't believe it's 11 years coming now that he's dead, and I can't believe he is gone, and there's been so much happened since he died, and I've got married, and, I own my own house, and I learned to drive since he's passed away, and I'm just thinking, if he was here, it'd be great if he'd come up, it'd be brilliant to have him in my house and make memories, but he's not here, and I'm not gonna move on, Joe. Move on. But so yeah, so that's what I mean. It's not as if I miss him just that one day, but I do believe on that day I don't put on Christmas tree lights. It's just a silly thing I do. I do. But anyway, moving on. I even thought about him today. I know the clocks went back here last Saturday. I only put back our mantle clock today, as a recording of this episode. And so putting the act of putting the clock back, although you're technically not supposed to put a clock back, you're supposed to put it forward to the time. So if so you're not supposed to, because it's bad for the works. So and I put I put the clock back 1 o'clock to 12. I actually brought it forward to 12 o'clock, so it was, technically it was, brought forward to 12, but it was actually put back, so, and I was thinking of him when doing that, because he had a big clock on his wall, and always have memories of him winding that clock up, and see, when he wound it up, he used to go through whenever he was putting the clock forward or back, he would always put the clock forward. They got the time before the hour behind. So he was the one that told me you shouldn't put a clock actually back. You should always bring it forward to the time where it's supposed to be. So because it's bad for the spring and the mechanism. And he would have been right through all the time. So if it was, say he put the clock one down at 2 minutes past 8. And he knew the clock was going back that night. He wouldn't have done anything, but the next morning he would have got up, and you would have heard him. He'd have wanted up, and then he'd have went to 8:30, ding. 9 o'clock, it would have dinged 9 times, and he'd have went right across. Till he got to 7 a.m. again, and my God, that was a long wait. for that clock to go back. But he loved that, and he loved that. I have a wee wind up pocket watch that I used to carry with me, but I don't carry with me now. Just a wee pocket watch I bought, and it's got a wind up mechanism. You wind it up, and I love winding that thing up, and that just reminds me of him as well. But anyway, let's not talk about depressing stuff. But it's brought a smile to me thinking of them sort of things. But anyway, I done a funny thing with Mr. Grayson earlier. I pretended to have some sort of a fit. I just went ugh, and I fell back in the chair. And after watching Grayson from underneath my eyelashes, Grayson looked at me, and he stared at me for about 30 seconds. And I thought he was gonna go like they say cats don't have any feelings. They're like, oh well, he's dead. So what? Mr. Grayson looked at me, and then stared for 30 seconds. Then he went over to sniff my arm. And then and I didn't move because he sniffed my arm. He licked my arm, and I still didn't move. And then he started pawing me. I didn't move. And then he got up and he did something wild weird. He jumped on my chest. Now, Mr. Grayson, last time he was weighed, he was about 16 pounds in weight. So you can imagine that. He just went pump on my chest. I don't know if I was trying to restart my heart or what. And that's whenever I woke up and I opened my eyes and he went, yeah, he's all right. And he walked off then. He hasn't spoke to me since. Not that he does speak to me very often. But no, he'd usually come up and talk to me and purr at me and let me pet him. But no, he hasn't he hasn't done anything like that since. So I would say I've annoyed him. But yeah, so that's the crack, and that's what's happened in Joe World this week. I've nothing to talk about. Just blithering on. So aye, that's it. What else have I got to say? Nothing really. Major flooding recently. The weather. But aye, a lot of rainfall. Yeah. Don't know what else. I don't know what else to talk about. I really don't. I don't know whether I told you this in the last. I'll finish off with this. I told you this in my last podcast. We have a place called the Dark Hedges, and a lot of my American, Canadian, and everybody around the world will have heard of Game of Thrones. Well, the Dark Hedges is a road with trees, and a lot of people will know it as the King's Road. Well, notoriously, this place is haunted by the ghost of a grey lady. And every Halloween she saw, apparently there's been visions and things. The story goes that there's a house, an old country estate just below, down at the bottom of the road, and there is a bell tower there, and apparently the grey lady was a young housemaid or something to that effect. The bell ring, the bell tolls, and she's been seen coming down the steps, walking across the road and into the dark hedges and disappearing, only to reappear somewhere within the dark hedges. Now here was me with my torch in hand. I have my torch in my hand right now that I was using, walking down them dark hedges on my own, may I add, with just a torch. I wasn't afraid of meeting the grey lady because I had no doubt in my mind I wouldn't meet anybody dead. What I was afraid of was meeting someone alive. Some fool idiot that was like me, walking down the dark hedges on Halloween. I know. Reason being, I think the prank was actually played on me. Laura and her mum and their friend Jane was our friend Jane, should I say, was always saying they were going to come up the dark hedges on Halloween night. So they said they would walk up the dark hedges Well, here was me standing in the dark hedges on my own, actually walking down the middle of them, and I saw the car lights coming towards me, and I wasn't sure if it was Laura's car or not. I got a text moments before saying, "We're here," because there was another car I met shortly afterwards. But anyway, so they didn't get out of the car. They made me walk from where my car was parked, which was up at the top end, and came dandering down the dark hedges. And this was like 11:30 at night. Now, as I said, I wasn't scared of any ghosts because I don't believe in ghosts. But the fact is, I was walking down a very spooky and eerie road with trees that were creaking in the wind, and there wasn't another living soul around me. But I thought maybe if I had met somebody in the dark that was living, they may harm me, because the dead can't harm me, but the living can, definitely. But here we come, the car coming up the road, and I came walking down, and I could hear them. What's that? What's that coming? What's that coming? And I goes, "Hello, ladies." And there was no scream, there was no nothing. I believe I was set up to see how brave I would be to walk down the dark hedges, or up the dark hedges, whatever you may be, in the dark. So, yeah, I think I was set up. I do think I was set up. But anyway. Well, folks, that's it for another week. Next week, we have Ali back again. And Ali, I don't know what Ali's going to talk about, but I'm looking forward to that. Again, we'll be I'll talk more about the Christmas episode within the next couple coming weeks. But until next time, and there's no Daisy this week. Daisy actually has been put out to pasture. No, she's not dead. She's just decided today she's going to stay out in the field, and she's going to relax and enjoy whatever's left of the good weather. So I shall tell you, she's saying hello. She said hello, and she told me to tell you that she'll be on next week. Anyway, whatever you're doing, folks, take care, be good, and bye-bye. Also, remember to check out the website. I'm doing John's voice today. www.joewatsonshow.com, or email the podcast at joewatsonshow.com. All the best, folks.